When it comes to a gun you are trusting with your life, reliability is not the most important factor. It is the only factor. A carry gun that fails you in a real defensive situation is not just useless, it is actively dangerous. You have brought a tool to the most consequential moment of your life, and that tool has become a paperweight. Today, we are ranking the most popular concealed carry handguns on the market, from worst to best on a reliability tier list. F tier at the bottom, S tier at the top, the absolute gold standard. Every major platform is on this list. By the end, you will know exactly which guns you can trust with your life and which ones you cannot. What's going on, everyone? Andrew here. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button so you don't miss the next one. Before we start, join our channel membership for early access, exclusive member-only videos, and advanced breakdowns we don't post anywhere else. Links in the description. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Firearms require safe handling, proper training, and compliance with all federal, state, and local laws. Always verify current regulations before purchasing or carrying any firearm. Now, the criteria. 1 standard. Does this gun go bang every time in every condition? Not accuracy, not ergonomics, not price reliability. Let's count up from the bottom. F tier, do not carry these. Taurus GX4. The Taurus GX4 look like a steal on paper. High capacity, budget price, and competitive ergonomics for a micro compact. But in May 2023, Taurus issued a formal safety recall because certain GX4 pistols could discharge when dropped. A manufacturing defect in the internal striker blocking system allowed the firing pin to ignite a chambered round without any trigger pull. Drop the gun, it fires. That is not the only problem. The GX4 also suffers from what users call dead trigger. The trigger blade safety fails to disengage, and the gun refuses to fire when you need it most. Metallurgical testing shows the firing pin has a tendency to shear and snap around the 1,500 round mark, causing catastrophic light strike failures. 1,500 rounds is an unacceptably low service life for any defensive carry gun. The GX4 is not a self-defense tool, it is a liability. Canik Mete MC9. Canik built a strong reputation with the full-size TP9 series, and that reputation generated real excitement when the MC9 Micro Compact launched. That excitement did not survive contact with reality. The MC9 has a pervasive failure to return to battery the slide strips around from the magazine, but stops just short of fully chambering it, locking the trigger disconnect and leaving you with a dead gun precisely when you need a live one. Engineering analysis points to an improperly calibrated recoil spring assembly combined with steep feed ramp geometry that causes the bullet nose to dive into the ramp. Canik shipped replacement springs to affected users, but many of those replacement springs were actually stiffer, making the timing issues worse. Early production models also had polymer mold flashing and burrs on the ejector claw, physically impeding slide travel. That level of inconsistency out of the box is disqualifying in a defensive firearm. When a company's own fix makes a documented problem worse, the gun has no business on your hip. D tier, serious baggage you should not ignore. SIG Sauer P320 civilian. The P320 is modular, accurate, ergonomically excellent, and carried by the United States military. I know putting it in D tier is controversial, but the civilian models, which overwhelmingly lack a manual thumb safety for alleged uncommanded discharges. A Georgia jury awarded $2.35 million in June 2024 to a man whose holstered P320 fired without any trigger contact. In November 2024, a Philadelphia jury found the P320 defective in a case involving an Army veteran shot in his own leg by his own holstered gun. The Chicago PD, Houston PD, and the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission have all either banned or suspended P320 use. SIG denies any design defect that is their right, but the volume of injuries, the multi-million-dollar verdicts, and the law enforcement agency bans are a pattern that cannot be dismissed. For inside the waistband carry without a manual safety, that is a risk that belongs in D tier Kimber Micro 9. The Kimber Micro 9 is marketed as a premium scaled down 1911 and priced at around $700 users. The tight manufacturing tolerances that give it genuinely good range accuracy make it extraordinarily sensitive to carbon fouling and environmental debris, exactly the conditions of daily carry. It demands meticulous cleaning and heavy lubrication to function reliably. Feed ramp geometry causes nosedive malfunctions, with many defensive hollow point profiles, and factory trigger quality varies widely between individual guns off the same assembly line. At that price point, that inconsistency is unacceptable. C tier, capable, but compromised. S&W Bodyguard 2.0, 0.38 OACP. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 in 0.38 OACP is genuinely impressive on paper. Capacity up to 12+1 is remarkable for its footprint, and the low-bore axis handles recoil better than most 0.38Os on the market. But early production units have documented chronic feed ramp issues. The steep ramp geometry struggles to chamber certain popular defensive loads, especially monolithic solids and wide-mouth hollow points. Many users report needing to hand polish the feed ramp just to achieve baseline reliability. Out-of-the-box reliability is non-negotiable on a carry gun, and that standard is not consistently met here. So for Glock 43X modified in factory configuration with OEM 10-round magazines, the Glock 43X is an exceptionally reliable pistol that genuinely borders on A tier, but most buyers immediately install aftermarket Shield Arms S15 steel magazines to reach 15 rounds, and the geometry change creates problems. The thinner steel walls of the S15 alter cartridge presentation angle enough to cause consistent failure to feed under any grip variation or slide velocity change. On the MEOS optic cut variant, a commonly used aftermarket optic mounting screw that is slightly too long intersects the extractor depressor plunger channel and freezes the extractor. User-induced errors, but extremely common ones. The 43X is outstanding. In the exact configuration Glock intended, modified, it introduces failure points. Note, the Glock 43X in factory OEM configuration borders on A tier. Modifications introduce the failure points. The gun Glock built is not the problem. The modifications are B tier. Proven workhorses and WM&P Shield Plus. The M&P Shield Plus is the modern evolution of the pistol that launched the micro-compact category. It runs a wide variety of defensive ammunition reliably and features a significantly improved flat-face trigger over the original Shield. The drawback is magazine spring tension. Loading the final round into a 13-round magazine is a real fight, and seating a fully loaded mag on a closed slide requires significant force. That heavy compressed spring creates friction against the disconnector rail that can cause the first round to fail to chamber. High round count users have also reported the trigger safety roll pin walking out under recoil. These are real issues that require awareness, even if none of them are catastrophic. Ruger LCR. The Ruger LCR earns B tier through its proprietary cam trigger system, which delivers one of the smoothest double action pulls of any carry revolver on the market. Because it is a revolver, it is immune to limp wristing, indifferent to hollow point geometry, and can fire from inside a jacket pocket without inducing a malfunction. However, in .357 Magnum variants, the violent recoil creates a condition called crimp jump. The acceleration separates the bullet from the casing, allowing the projectile to protrude from the cylinder and lock the gun completely. Stick to .38 special loads in the LCR, and this problem disappears entirely. That caliber limitation is the only thing keeping it out of A tier. A tier, exceptional dependability. Springfield Armory Hellcat / Hellcat Pro. The Springfield Armory Hellcat and Hellcat Pro are built around a hammer forged barrel and a dual captive recoil spring assembly engineered for longevity. Independent endurance testing has routinely pushed the Hellcat past 10,000 to 12,000 rounds with 0 parts breakages. The 11+1 flush fit capacity and aggressive grip texture make this a purpose-built defensive tool. The trade-off is a snappier recoil impulse and a heavier slide that can be difficult to rack for shooters with reduced hand strength. A purpose-built carry gun with a documented endurance record that serious. S&W J-frame, a 4.32 ultimate carry, .32 H&R Magnum. The Smith & Wesson J-frame 4.32 ultimate carry in .32 H&R Magnum is the pinnacle of pocket revolver design. Fully enclosed hammer of the Centennial series eliminates snagging and debris ingress entirely, allowing a clean draw from a coat pocket in any conditions. The .32 H and R Magnum cartridge's smaller diameter allows for a 6-round cylinder in the same frame that holds only 5 rounds of .38 special, while producing significantly less recoil and matching or exceeding standard .38 defensive ballistics. It is arguably the most reliable and capable pocket revolver ever produced. Astor's Walther PDP Compacts. The Walther PDP Compact earns its A-tier position through sheer over-engineering. The step chamber design seals carbon fouling out of the action. The massive extractor claw strip spent casings with violent mechanical consistency. The performance duty trigger breaks cleanly at 4 pounds with almost no over travel. The only meaningful downsides for concealed carry are a relatively high bore axis and a wider profile that requires intentional wardrobe management. In terms of raw mechanical execution, few production carry guns come close to matching it. If concealed carry parameters allow for the slightly wider profile and higher bore axis, the PDP Compact is a genuine top-tier tool that rewards the shooter who chooses it. S tier, the gold standard, SIG Sauer P365 series, P365/XL/X macro. The SIG Sauer P365 series, standard P365, the XL, and the X macro fundamentally changed the concealed carry market in 2018 by fitting 10 rounds into a grip the width of a single stack pistol. Early MIM firing pin issues were rapidly identified and corrected, and since that engineering overhaul, the P365 platform's reliability record has been essentially spotless. Individual rental range P365 units have been documented surpassing 50,000 rounds before requiring anything beyond a recoil spring replacement. The serialized fire control unit system means one gun lives in multiple grip modules, pocket size in summer, 17-round extended frame in winter. The best-selling handgun in America earned that position, Glock 19 Gen 5. The Glock 19 Gen 5 is mechanically impossible to leave off this list. At roughly 34 total parts, its minimalist architecture eliminates complexity and eliminates failure points simultaneously. The Gen 5 adds an NDLC diamond-like carbon finish for extreme corrosion resistance and the Glock Marksman barrel for improved accuracy. The Glock 19 functions identically with cheap steel case surplus ammunition and premium 147 grain hollow points regardless of temperature extremes, debris, or lubrication state. Elite special operations units worldwide, including US SOCOM, carry it for a reason. It is the global benchmark because its reliability is not just proven, it is legendary and essentially undisputed. No other handgun in history has been trusted by this many people in this many countries for this many consecutive decades without a credible challenger to its position. Heckler & Koch VP 9-SK/CC9, Heckler & Koch, specifically the VP9-SK, and the newly released CC9 Micro Compact shares the top of this list because no manufacturer on earth brings more rigorous engineering standards to production carry guns. HK's cold hammer forged polygonal rifled barrels maintain match grade accuracy well past 90,000 rounds. CC9 underwent full military standard drop, dust, and mud testing before commercial release. End users have run 2,500 continuous rounds through the CC9 straight out of the box. No cleaning, no lubrication, with 0 malfunctions recorded. If you want the absolute pinnacle of no compromise engineering in a carry gun, HK is the answer. Thanks for watching.